Now we move to the second chapter of this book. I hope it's during your learning the first chapter, either you have already bought the book or you can, like me, to also you can borrow this book from your local library if they have the available copies. But I still suggest is, if possible, get a book from the store. Then you can mark the highlight the points that will be the easier for you to review back and use that as kind of the dictionary when you really do something in the future. So from this video is we move to the second chapter, starting from the understanding this Cartesian Coordinate Plane, which is I put that here. It's our two-dimensional the plane that we will have. Before we go into that, is let's see from the mind map, which I want to update you what have applied to the repository. So this is our the second chapter, and we mentioned let's mention something we have already put into the first chapter. So once we already done the first chapter, I hope is you also take a few time before going forward to have certain review on the knowledge you have learned. So here within the free plan, it gave us a very easier way that we can connect different knowledge point by those link. So here you can see when we learned chapter 1.3, we learned this 010301 is so how to working with the fractions. We learned some tactic, and then this link is show us is if I right click that, you can see we learned this one and we practice on the 0112. To make our fraction calculator. So through this line is we connect this the challenge back to this knowledge point. So similarly is in the last video is we did the enhanced unit converter with the exit power to user. Then this one is actually is inherit from the number 3 challenge, enhance the unit converter. So you can read from here. If you right click, you can find this relation. And as well, this challenge is actually using the continuous writing program to do math on this 010503. So we did a converting unit of measurement, understand the calculation logic. So I have connected all of those this knowledge point each other. So so when you make those close, so you don't see those linkage, but when you expand that, you can now see they have a certain linkage to the different areas. We also will have some more linkage later on. For example, when we learn this first subchapter to here, and is talking about our set. The concept actually is I will later on to make that link in more specific way. But for now, is I connect to that because author put our set term as our when we talk about this two-dimension, the coordinate plane. So those are the way is I would like to keep expanding the knowledge within this mind map. So if you want to have this dynamic way, please go to the search free plane and install that. Then you can open this file. And I also export that to the Markdown, as I mentioned before. So from this one is actually you can see from this online. So if you click the Markdown, so what we have connected it will be showing like here. So for example, challenge. So last challenge, they will give you parentheses, then you can have this line is say also here. So even on the markdown, they lose those the automatically connecting, but you can see here, you still can have this linkage. In here, in this number 3, they tell you is you can further see 153. So it's this one. So they will give you this destinating relationship target. So I hope it's using both way. I can provide you certain the convenience when you review back what you have learned. And then for today is we have starting the second chapter, which name as the visualizing data with graph, which is more colorful, I believe, than the chapter 1, which we only have the number on our target. So within this chapter, we will finish about 4 objective. First is we will start to discuss the number line, which I will show you the 1 dimension. You can please think about that. And the Cartesian plane, the coordinate plane, which we normally call that is the 2-dimensional plane. And then we will learn about the matplotlib. So you can call that is matplotlib. Is the library for mathematically plotting. So that is help you to plotting the graph or chart. Plotting is like drawing. So, and after that is we will explore how to make graph present the data clearly and intuitively. Intuitively is important. Is you need to let the user be easier to understand what's the concept or what's the idea or the information you want to show from the graph or from our diagram. Otherwise, you just draw some diagram without any meaning. That will be useless. And finally, or last but not least, is we will use graph to explore Newton's law. So some physical the concepts to check is the universal gravitation and projectile the motion. So for this first chapter, we believe is you are not you must familiar with these lines. So before we go to this, we call this number line. In concept of the mathematics, with actually the those geometry starting from 1 dot, or we see a point. So point, single point is called, you can consider that is the dimension 1, dimension 0. And then compared to that is if you move our single point to 1 direction, or from if we put this single point in this the origin position like 0, if you move that to the right and to the infinite long, then you will have this part of, we call this number line. You can also move that this point to the left, the infinite, the longer, so that is the left, the negative line. So normally that move 1 dimension 0 point to two directions, you create our dimension 1 or 1 dimension the geometry shape. So all those are shape. So we call this 1 dimension shape is the number line. And this number line by the default is we will treat the right part will be positive, left part is negative. So that is based on the generic the view. So you can use our single number to represent the number line. And then this similarly is if you move 1 number line to up and down, so and to the infinity, this infinitely, so to this the length, then you will get our space, or we can say that is our plane. So this kind of the geometry shape, we call that is Cartesian Coordinate Plane. Or you can see that is a two-dimension plane, or we call that as well is XY plane. So that horizontal line, normally we call that is the x-axis, and the y is the vertical line, is called y-axis. And for this two-dimension plane, compared to the one dimension, you use one single number to make that position. You can use now is one pair of a number, which means two numbers, x and y. Then you can uniquely point to one point within this Cartesian coordinate plane. So within this chapter 2, actually we stop on this two-dimension plane for now. So we will use the set to call this xy, this pair. And then we will use plot as the verb to describe the act of the plotting two sets of number. And the term graph describe this plotting result. Either is we put to a pair of number, we can draw a line or draw a curve, draw simply a set of point to this Cartesian plane. So those are from this book. They show you how those Cartesian the coordinate plane will looks like. Let's just have some more the ideas for this beyond this Cartesian the coordinate plane. So first, let's see. So we know 0 dimension. I already mentioned is just a point. Then starting from 1 dimension is a number line, and we just saw is the 2 dimension is this Cartesian coordinates plane. And when we make the draw is you just learned this, so we can use our pair of the number like is x, y, to represent our unique point within this plane. At the same time, is this x-axis and the y-axis divide this coordinates plane into 4 parts. So that is also in the natural way is like the number line. When the x-axis as a line is right is positive, left is the negative. So that is those are common the definition. So it's not often is you put is left as positive, right as negative. So let's follow those one. And then similarly is for y-axis, the upper, the top is when you go to upper is the positive, the lower is the negative. So based on this one is you have these 4 parts definition. The quadrant 1 is both x and y are in the positive area, and the quadrant 2 is the x is negative and y is positive. When both x and y are negative, you move to the quadrant 3. And the last is quadrant 4 is the x positive, y negative. So using this, if you get a number based on these pairs, you can check whether x is the greater than 0 or less than 0. Then you can know it's a positive or negative, similar to y. Once you check that, in your mind is you can convert this from the number to the geometry. Then that is your areas putting those those points in this plane. So those are the 2 dimensions. The view is already enough for our following sub-chapters. But before closing this, the video is I would like that to guide you to the higher dimensional space. So like is from the one dimension to two dimension through you move the line on their on the another side the direction. So with those the right angles. And similarly, is if you move your coordinate plane, so here is x, here is y. This horizontal plane is our two-dimension Cartesian coordinates plane. And if you move that to the upper and down, then you are creating a three-dimension. Now we call that not a plane, it's a three-dimension. We call that as a space. So then you for this kind of the another axis, you will have we call that is z. Now you have x, y, z. And for any point in this three-dimension space, you must use the number pair to point that position. So you should have for x equal to something, y equal to something, z equal to something. And similarly, like two-dimension, there is for the quadrant. In this three-dimension, you have 8 the different spaces. So that is the you are coming to this one. Once you have these ideas, even this we are not talking about this now in this chapter 2, but you can find this another video or more than one videos I already series I recorded code using the Open SCAD. So then you can start to draw some three-dimensional the shapes, and also within the Python we can also find a way that we can build some the plotting in the three dimensions. So if we got time, I will also mention that later on. But three dimension is also not enough for geometry or from the mathematical way, but from the physics, three dimension is our normal life. You can imagine. But how about the four dimension or even the higher dimensions? Just consider is using the same the way to generate from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, or even from 0 to 1 dimension. But this one is most of the time you have to imagine that in your mind. It's not easy to draw. Even we draw like here, it just have our illustration to simplify the way. But you are not able to draw that in two dimension easily, but just consider you have three dimension and move this three dimension the space to another. You cannot see the direction, and this direction also have the 90-degree to all these three. The axis you already have x, y, z. So how that maybe in your on your hands you cannot making that, but think about that is you are now is move our 3D space to another direction. Then through that way you create a four-dimension geometry. So just think from the mathematical way. In 4 dimension, we call that still space, but that is a tricky word. Just in our areas of the 4 dimensions, you need 4 numbers to identify or to point one location of our the point. So that is just the difference for those. Then is you may need 16 the different quadrant areas. So that is the different way of thinking. So if you have interest, you can search is how to plot the illustration like a 5 dimension, 6 dimensions on paper, but that is not our current focus. So I try to give you some ideas on those because on the geometry perspective is we need something that can help us to build the idea in your mind first. Then from the next video is we are starting to prepare some weapon on mathematics and weapon on Python to represent that. And after those, you will see here, we learn the list and the tuples. Then we will starting to create a graph and plot with graph-based formula. Then we are doing the certain exercise. So this one is, I hope, is our interesting paragraph. You can prepare yourself to learn along with me. So see you in the next video. Bye for now.